So, I wanted to read this tweet, and this article, and
Yes.
okay, so this is on. I'm going to read the summary from Video Games Chronicle, but the original article came from GameIndustry.biz. Jim Ryan, our favorite CEO, says that Sony's games could suffer by adding them to Play Pass on day one. This is not a road that we've gone in the past, and it's not a road we're going down with this new service. This when asked about adding the new oh sorry, this is coming from the summary is from Jordan Midler, but the original, like I said, is on GameIndustry.biz. When asked about adding the Sony first party titles to the service uh in the game was that Microsoft does with its Xbox Game Pass, Ryan said that is not a road that we've gone in the past, and it's not a road that we're going down with this new service. We feel if we were to do with the games that we make at PlayStation Studios, that virtuous cycle will be broken. The level of investment that we need to make in our studios would not be possible, and we think the knock on effect on the quality of the games that we would not be something that gamers want.
What an
Ryan
idiot.
Ryan also spoke about
Perfect,
the
Jose.
changing environment that video games and Sony find themselves in. Who would have said that even 4 years ago that you would see AAA PlayStation IP being published on PC? Well, everybody at Microsoft, Ryan, by the way, they've been doing that for how long?
Yeah.
Um,
And I think the real changing environment that he's talking about, he's not going to say it, is not being the leader anymore,
oh,
right? They're playing from behind right now. That's the real changing environment.
we've had great critical success and great commercial success, and everybody has made their peace with that happening, and is completely at ease with it. He claimed, "I look back 4 years and think nobody would have seen that coming again, except for Microsoft and even Nintendo with streaming games." Ryan was also keen to point out that nothing about the new service is set in stone. All I'm talking to today is the approach we're taking in the short term. The way our publishing model works right now, it just doesn't make any sense. But things can change very quickly in this industry, as we all know. So basically, even Jim Ryan is like, "Oh crap, we like Chance said, we are not the leaders. We are going to react. I guarantee, guys, they're going to have day and date games." And he's just talking caca, just like he was talking caca when we believe in generations. We're going to have separate PS5 games and PS4 games. Oh wait, Horizon is cross-gen. GT7 is cross-gen. The next God of War is cross-gen. Just going back on everything they've said. And I love the tweet here by Mr. Matty Plays. Shout out to Defining Duke and Mr. Matty. He has the quote of the GameIndustry.biz saying, "PlayStation's Jim Ryan, our games could suffer if they went straight to PlayStation Plus." And Mr. Maddie said, "Nobody tell Jim Ryan how things went for Forza Horizon 5 compared to Gran Turismo
Exactly.
7. Gran Turismo, oh, by the way, Forza Horizon, sorry, has almost 20 million players. And also, don't forget, it had over a million people who bought the game early, who paid for it. So, how many of those people are Game Pass? But how many of those are people who still are buying just that game? We've talked about this the other week about this misconception that if you're on Xbox, you have to be on Game Pass or you're not buying games. That is false. This is just another way for us to get to games. There are millions of people who bought Forza Horizon. So, Chance, tell me your thoughts on old Jim Ryan and this cocky Sony
Yeah,
attitude that I just can't stand.
I don't want to be a hater, right? But it's so hard not to pick this apart. And I'll start with the end, which is one of my favorite parts because he's just trashing it the whole time, and then he gives himself an out, right? Well, but also things change, so right, like he's is all that means is they're like, well, we'll see, right? And probably my favorite part though was where he's like, we think the knock-on effect on the quality of games that we make would not be something that gamers want,
Did he
and
see
you
Forza
nailed
Horizon
it
5?
exactly. Or
Game of the
Halo,
year.
right? Or Psychonauts. Like
Or
think about all
Halo.
of
Not the
our
best state now, but still a great game.
it's just it's asinine. And would God of War would that game have sucked? Or would Ragnarok, is nobody gonna be excited for Ragnarok because God of War was day and date like back in the day? It's just asinine, and I can't explain it, and it just makes me thankful to be an Xbox
And
guy.
Chance, I'm so glad you said about God of War. Imagine if they said, "Hey, God of War is going to be on Play Pass day and date." I guarantee you would see so many of those subscriptions just
They would
skyrocket
skyrocket,
for
skyrocket.
something like that.
And those year passes and all that, like their pocket, they must just. I was making a joke to myself. I was like, the level and was it the level of investment that we need? No, the virtuous cycle would be
Yes.
broken. Really? Because what would be broken would be your pocketbooks, man. Like you'd need a new bank account if you like money. This is what you should do. But Jesus, I don't know. I'll stop.
And then Virtuous Cycle, Forza Horizon 4 on Game Pass, one of the greatest games ever. And then Forza Horizon 5 on Game Pass. Game of the year for some IGN's game of the year was a day and date release on Game Pass. Their Virtuous Cycle is doing just fine. Oh my gosh, the cocky attitude. How can Sony fans okay, I shouldn't say that. There are Sony fans out there who are calling them out. I'm like it's almost like chance like they just can't say, you know what? Xbox is on to something with this, and but we
Yeah,
can't say
this is great.
we cannot do what they're doing because then that will say, hey, they were right. And I get it. PlayStation has made some incredible games, but do I think they're that much better than some of the stuff I played on Xbox? No. Maybe is their production value and overall polish better than some? Yes, but I don't think it's better than Forza Horizon. I don't think it's better than the Gears games. And Halo's almost there. This is the best Halo, but is it going to be better than Starfield? Is it going to be better than upcoming games from Bethesda? I can't wait.
Oh, that was the other one, right? Like so Starfield is just because of Starfield, that means Elder Scrolls 6 is just gonna suck,
Great
right?
point. Yeah,
Like
it's
it's gonna
done.
be
It's
terrible,
screwed.
or Fallout 5 is just screwed. Yeah, like are you kidding me? And the only thing I could think, and this is gonna sound weird, and I think maybe I can talk my way out of it, is that I think what he's really saying is they can't afford to buy out Sony Santa Monica because that still would require some sort of buyout, right? That they're like, well, God of War was so big that we can't even buy them out for ourselves
What do you mean?
because they're
They're
two
owned by
separate entities.
they're owned
They
by
are,
Sony.
right? And but
Oh,
just
you're saying
like
like the amount of investment they have to put in to make the game. They can't just front that in
they
order to give
don't have the deep pockets of
to
Microsoft,
yeah.
right? And I think maybe that was his bass backwards way of saying, yeah, they did it because they had the pockets to fund
See,
it, and it takes money to make
yeah, and
money.
I
And
would
I don't know. I'm just trying to
yeah.
figure out the
But then I
mental
would kind of disagree with
gymnastics
you. I'm
that,
like, they spent billions of dollars on Bungie. I mean, they could have spent that
yeah,
on putting their
I,
games day and date, a day and date on game or Play Pass. Jose, give us your econ thoughts. Give us your well-rounded thoughts on Jim Ryan's comments. Come on, does it sound a little smug? Like I get it. Like PlayStation's the greatest thing to ever hit video games, but come on, Jose, come on, talk to me.
So honestly, what it makes me think about, man, and it makes me honestly a little bit sad for those that are huge PlayStation fans, because again, trying to be positive here. Look, I am not a PlayStation guy in the same way that a lot of people are. I'm an Xbox guy, but I understand how passionate, how much I love Xbox, and if I were a PlayStation fan right now, I'd be not upset. Again, I don't think this is a horrible situation, but it's you always want to be better, right? And I feel like this is just not the W they were hoping for. Now it could be. Again, there's still a long way to go to June and things could change. Even Jim Ryan said that. But it really also makes me think about the economics of companies, right? So like I know Jim Ryan is the one saying this, and yes, I'm sure he's also leading a healthy chunk of it, but so are the investors. So are the people that are part of the board for Sony. So is its history. Like all of those are factors in this piece, and you're right. Like I think that Sony would love to have potentially day and date games, but I'm sure the second Jim Ryan had said, "Hey, we're going to do this because we're trying to compete with Sony," the people were like, "Not with my game. Go pick someone else up." And that was kind of where the genius of Xbox was, that they did this at first with indie developers, with small games, right? With a lot of people that could gain from being on Game Pass. And then now they've grown it to their own first party stuff. I mean, I think about it also as just pure leadership issues. Like, again, I'm not hating on Don Matrick. Again, there are things that I'm grateful for him for. But if Matrick was here right now, would we have Game Pass? I don't know. That feels like it was a lot of Phil Spencer, right? So, you know, what I guess what I'm saying is things could change with leadership at any time. I'm grateful for our current leadership on Team Green, right? I don't know what this means necessarily for Sony, but again, at the end of the day, I'm glad that we're seeing competition in the market. I'm glad it feels like our competition's a little better right now, but that could change, right? And again, all we have to do is see. And I guess here's the other part I would say. As much as it's cool to have the idea that you can play old titles, and there are times when I want to go back and play nostalgic games, how often do I truly do that in my day-to-day gaming? Maybe 2 or 3 times a year, maybe, right? And a lot of times it's because I'm preparing for a launch that's coming up. So as an example, like I might go play the old Dead Space ahead of the new Dead Space because I want
You have
to.
too many other games, Jose. Don't even give me that.
Okay, but okay, as an example, man, you see what I'm saying? Or like when Halo was coming out, some people jumped back into Master Chief
did them all.
Collection, right? But outside of that, like, am I really gonna go back and play? Am I gonna go play Joe and Mac on the Switch?
If they don't have
prepare,
trophies
like,
too, like Chance said, like what's
I mean, I do think there's something to be said about having some of the current and day and date stuff, and so it'll be very interesting to see how quickly that tune could change.
Yeah,
Because
that's gonna
remember, and we
change.
talked about this even.
Yeah. Oh, he said everything he needed to. With
Even 6 months ago, they said we're not interested.
Yeah,
in
that's
developing
not
an
sustainable.
online platform.
Didn't they? Yeah, we totally read that. That's not sustainable. And look at what they're doing. They just-
Yeah, so we'll see, man. I don't want to beat this dead horse too much more, but we'll see what happens.
Let's move on, guys. Play Pass. It's a pass for me. I have no interest. Even if it had day and date, I'm not. I'm just not. I just would rather just wait till the games are cheap and then buy them for like $20 to $30. Xbox, record this is a podcast celebrating all things gaming, food, and the good old days. If you'd like to find out more, head to xboxrecordthis.com.